Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Hi.
It's great to have you here today. And Amy, I'm trying to bring you in here. Okay, here we are.
Hi.
Everybody. I am so happy to be here with Robbie and Morgan and Amy today. We set off together on a video project way last winter in the midst of COVID. And so we have some exciting results to share with everyone today. So first off, though, just as a little intro, because Rhys couldn't be here, Robbie, do you want to tell us a little bit about your studio at Columbia Pike Artist Studios and where that part of Arlington is?
Yeah, it's a really interesting part of Arlington that I love. It's a very diverse population, just a lot of different people and interesting shops, places to eat. I've really enjoyed it. And I love our studios. So we're about 27 artists, and I think the camaraderie and sharing ideas and critiques with other artists has just been invaluable. My studio is very small. Amy had a tough time getting in front of the painting. We had to put it on the sink. But I'm lucky to have a sink because I think I'm one of the only studios that has that extra amenity.
Right.
But I have these huge big windows and natural light. So it's a real treat to go and work there.
Right. And Morgan, do you want to tell us a little bit about your studio as well?
Well, my studio is at the end of a hallway, which I feel fortunate to have a little, capture the moment when you walk down and you see the space, because my work is nature-inspired abstracts, and I love color. So that's the first thing you see when you walk down the hall. And it's basically full of as many paintings as I could get in there.
Right. And Amy is the dancer you'll see in these videos. Amy, you want to tell us a little bit about your impressions about Columbia Pike Artist Studios when you first discovered where it was?
Yeah, no, it was a really great space. And, I really loved Robbie's studio. It was really cool with all of the natural light. And I think at one point it was a bathroom, I think. So just being in such a unique space and having so many really talented artists like in the same area, it was definitely a really fun experience.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, Columbia Pike Artist Studio is above the Arlington Cinema and Drafthouse. And so it was a real surprise to me to go up there and find all these wonderful cubicles and all these great artists working in there and being able to, sort of share the space and create so many wonderful pieces. So I think what we can do is we'll go ahead and show the piece that we made in Rhys's studio. Rhys could not be here with us today, but we'll take a look at that, and then we welcome your comments at any time. We'll try to, anybody who's watching right now, we'll try to answer them as best we can, and we'll just go where the discussion takes us. So this is the one awkward moment. I'm going to remove us all from the stream, and then you'll see this video done from Rhys's studio, and Amy is the dancer.
This canvas it's one I've had with me a long time, which is kind of interesting. I think I bought it in 2005 or so there was another painting underneath, and you can see a little bit of that, but not very much. And I think it speaks to layering being a really significant part of my process. The whole process of layering, it was there in the beginning, but it's become more significant over time. Because this canvas had been with me for quite a while, it was much darker in 2005, 2006, whenever I first worked on it. And then a couple of years ago, I think 2018, 2019, I just decided to start over. It took a long time. I worked on it at least 6 months, probably closer to a year. I enjoy just different types of mark making and experimenting. I feel like really it's a freeing process. There's error doesn't really exist when you can cover something up. I use oil paint and different medium. I just kind of take it for granted, but I use cheesecloth kind of as a rubbing tool, which is something we used in lithography a lot, and that just kind of stuck with me. I use palette knives and, of course, different brushes, and color I think is really important. I'm not thinking about a certain thing. It's kind of these shapes evolve over time, and I enjoy editing and puzzles and that sort of part of my brain, and they do feel like big puzzles. You kind of make a mess and try, how do you make things balance out but still be interesting enough for the eye to move around. I like surprises, of course. I think anyone in art does. I want to show people something they haven't seen before, and nature, of course, is a big part of it, but I feel like I see things everywhere that just are texture, color combinations, and shapes. And I think titles usually come after I've finished a work or when I'm really close to finishing it. This reminded me in the end of, I had planted tulips that were pink and yellow, and this reminded me of a tulip bulb kind of trying to emerge.
Okay, I'll bring everyone back in, and we'll talk a little bit about Rhys's, what happened there in Rhys's studio. So, anybody have any comments about what you just saw?
I love the dance moving and the undulating around that round shape in Rhys's painting. It's beautiful how that kind of coordinated.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was really surprised about that day is Amy just kind of brought this clothing, and it was like a perfect.
It worked out really well, I guess.
Right in.
It was like a perfect match of outfit. So, yeah, and that kind of seemed to happen with everybody. I'm just going to do this with us too, so we can all be on here at the same time. But that was sort of a surprising thing that sort of just came up, that we kind of found a way to match what was the colors, some of the colors in the studio with the clothing that Amy had brought. So surprising as that may be, sort of, I remember, and it was way back when in February that we did these videos. So it's nice to look back on them. So would you like now to go ahead and go on and see, maybe I'm thinking we'll see Robbie's next. Does that sound like a good idea?
Sure.
Sure? Okay, great. So again, if you bear with me just for a few seconds, I'm going to take us all out, and then we'll take a look at the video that was done in Robbie's studio. And again, it's Amy is our dancer.
Well, I was visiting friends on the beach at Southern Shores in the Outer Banks, and walking along the beach, this charming little girl had her pail, and I think she was with a little brother. She was way off in the distance, but I couldn't help but snap a very candid shot of a few candid shots of her. And I thought this would be just a perfect image to create a painting from. And the water was beautiful, the sun was sparkling, and I don't know if she had a dress on. I kind of think she didn't, but I think the colors were this bright, lively pink. So I came back and I decided I was going to do a beach image. I've done a few other ones before and I've enjoyed them. I think there's something so soothing about the water and the warmth of the sun, the colors, the horizon. So I painted this one, and many people have loved it. This is one that I think I could have sold, but I gave it to one of my daughters. I think it's Berthe Morizet, a French painter who does a lot of children on the beach. And I think I had seen an exhibit of hers. And I'm always inspired by wonderful painters. And there are just so many. Not only famous painters that you might see in museums or galleries, but just people who post things on the internet. Instagram pages have fabulous things, wonderful things that we never would see if it wasn't for the internet. I think I did this at home on my dining room table. I love having a studio because that's a place where I feel freer, not to mess things up or not to have to clean up before and after. But I think I stretched this out, a nice canvas, and I started just layering on the blues. It's acrylic on canvas. And then I had some trouble capturing her. Just getting, I think I repainted her several times, trying to get her not too perfectly done, but not too loose, so that you lost the sense of a little girl. So yeah, that took me a while to sort that out. I think the waves in the ocean and the horizon came together fairly quickly, but the little girl took a little longer. I guess it's nice to have a focal point in a painting. I've done just the horizon and the water, and I think just having some place for the eye to rest on, it's helpful to make the painting come together.
Okay, here we are back again, coming back right to you. All right, Robbie, what'd you think? I'm interested to see.
I'm just blown away. It was just so well done. It was so, the music and the motions and the rhythm of the waves seemed to come together to make this much more alive than I thought it was. Beautiful job. Thank you so much, Jane. I wanted to thank you and the whole dance company and Amy, of course, for pulling this very innovative concept together of combining the arts. And I know you like to do that in your studios, but you know, it's just interesting to see how they can come together and make a much more meaningful whole than just one piece of it. So thank you so much. Really
well,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. I mean, it's I love working with images and words as well, and so it was a real treat for us.
Yeah, to hear what I said, I had forgotten. It was interesting too, you know. But
right. I mean, because it's just a conversation you have, and you're talking about something that you work with all the time, and it's easy to forget, you know, what you said at that particular moment. But
yeah, I saw it in a completely different light than I'm used to seeing. I think it's good to step back from your work and then go back and see it in a different way, in a different setting, here with music and motion and dance. It was very exciting. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I just wanted to throw it out in case somebody is watching and has a comment. We love to get comments because then that gives us something to respond to. So, Amy, did you have any thoughts about seeing that after such a long time?
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to think back to, you know, that back in, you said February, it seems like forever. It was just a really fun experience. And I know, a little bit to Robbie's point, I liked seeing, how you brought it all together, Jane, and layered the music and the dancing and, kind of, obviously Robbie's art too. It's just really nice to see it all come together.
Yeah. And it was one of those situations where right after we did the video there at Columbia Pike Artist Studios, we had a couple of different shows, that live stream shows, that is, that we ended up doing in March.
Mm-hmm.
There were two different projects that we did in March, and then another thing came up in April that we did at the Fred Schneider Gallery in Arlington with the artist Scott Hutchinson, who had a show there. And then it was May, and it was our performance that we did as a live stream from outdoors. So it was just like one thing after the next, and it was so it was great to get back to this. But hopefully we can do other things there in your wonderful space. Because,
I hope so. I'd love to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so happy to show these to everybody, and after this long time, but I think they keep well. So
They do.
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to get on to Morgan's. So I will just, once again, that awkward moment of taking us all out, and we'll be all ready for Morgan's. Here we go.
Interested in how nature and the human experience come together. And that is a painting that is inspired by a microscopic image of bone cells. What I find interesting is that bone cells have this net-like quality to them that creates strength, but also can manage the weight of it. And depending on the animal, it can have a lot of air pockets. Like a bird is very lightweight and can have that strength, but also can lift off the ground, whereas an elephant is very stocky and heavy, and so that structure is tighter woven. And I like that idea that you can almost crawl in there and get lost or hide. I like root systems too, and maybe finding a little creature, having a little home somewhere buried inside, kind of, it feels nurturing to me. That painting was inspired by neurons under the microscope, and that little tiny space between the dendrites, and that little connection of energy that kind of passes from one neuron to the next. There's not a direct physical connection, it's kind of a leap. I like that idea, though, that you don't have to be physically touching to transmit the signal or the information. It's just that little gap, living in one place and connecting with another place. It's almost physical, but it isn't. I wanted to really think about delving deeper and deeper. I talk a lot about medical influences, but I realized I was not getting microscopic enough, like blowing it up. And so that idea of getting in there deeply, I think, is what I was interested in. Again, the color is more of an intuitive response. And I don't know why, but I was just responding to that particular blue and its orangey complement. And it has almost this Superman quality to it to me, just based on the color choices. But I don't know, it tends to work. It grabs me.
Okay, here we are again. Yay.
Thank you.
Well done.
I like the energy of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, the colors, I think, were really in each studio. I think I just, and even the look of each studio, it just tells you so much about and how you each as artists even arrange your work in your studios. And I remember that when we went into your studio, Morgan, we thought it was really interesting that you were doing all these paintings that had the negative space in here. And you also had a chair
Mm-hmm.
that had like negative space
Yeah.
in it with the strands of the netting. So I thought that was really interesting.
I love those chairs.
They're great. Yeah.
It's a nice place to hang out. But yeah, you're right. It kind of meshes with the art too. I think that's apt.
Yeah, and the colors also. It was again a lucky circumstance that Amy had brought these various outfits with her that day.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a comment. Jed says, "Hey, Robbie."
Thanks, Jed.
So you've got someone watching.
I do. I'm so glad. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, Jed.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, I'm going to put out this banner here, but if you're not, if you want to see all 7 profiles, they're all tied up into one video that's on our Vimeo on demand page, and it's $3. So it's not a lot of any money or anything like that. Or if you want to see it with the interviews, those will remain up on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page if you want to see them there with the live interviews. The previous interviews were done in May, and we also profiled Sharon Malley. We profiled
Alice Whelan.
Right, Alice, Paula Lance, and Nan Morrison.
Right.
So all 7 of these wonderful artists are on the same video reel, and you can see them. That's on our Vimeo on demand page, or you can just find them for free and see them on our Facebook or YouTube channel. So that's a great way to come back to them. I hope that we can do more things over there at Columbia Pike Artist Studios. And we have one more comment. Oh, Elisa is watching. Wonderful to see Amy interpret the work of the 3 different artists. So much fun to watch. Thank you, Elisa, for tuning in and watching.
Thanks, Elisa.
And Elisa has been dancing for a couple of years now or more with our 40 plus group that's currently active with a project with Roxanne, Morgan Rowley. And if you ever like to check out 40 plus, it's really great. I'm going to just splash on Roxanne's picture right quick, but they're having fun.
Morgan's too young.
It started just last Tuesday, but everybody is so excited to at least be doing something indoors and in person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got to that point where we were doing outdoors and in person, but now we can do a little bit of indoors and in person, which is terribly exciting. And
Very.
I know you guys had a lot of things to deal with too, with COVID, with so many artists sharing the building and everything, and you had certain restrictions and so forth. And we have another comment. We have from MF. This was so great. Philip's watching and gave us 3 little wonderful hearts. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, Philip.
And MF says, can't wait to see more. So thank you all for your kind words and for tuning in and watching us. I think what we should do definitely is have some sort of a live performance event in Columbia Pike Artist Studio, have actual people there. Follow us around to these little studios, because when we were doing the video, the artists would follow us around from studio to studio and sort of stand outside and watch, which made it terribly exciting for the dancers. And I think it was so cool just to have a performance that's sort of like tailor-made. You know, it would be like tailor-made performance for an audience of 4 or a tailor-made performance for an audience of 6. And it would be a great tour of the Columbia Pike Artist Studios.
I'm in. I'm all for it. I'm president.
I love the inception that, you know, one art form takes to create the artwork, the visual artwork that inspires the inception of the performance, that inspires the next thing. I think that's a wonderful collaboration. It's so exciting. Thank you so much for making this happen.
Oh, well, thank you all. Like I say, we'll just have to see what develops here, because I'm sure something will. And I now know who, thank you, Matt. MF is Matt and Sophie sending love. So
that's my daughter and son-in-law.
Oh, great. So glad they
so
could
supportive.
watch.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, any final words from anybody here? Robbie, Morgan?
You had mentioned a collaboration of, or a community of artists that we have at CPAS, and I wanted to also mention that before I forgot about it. The fact that each artist has their own individual studios and even arranges their artwork in a certain specific way collectively, I think it's exciting to visit. I'm glad for life to hopefully be back to more of a normal than we are used to, and to invite people hopefully back into our studio spaces again. And how fun would it be to invite dancers with people? That makes me excited.
Right. And it could be one of those like Friday night cocktail hours.
Yeah, First Fridays or something. Yeah. Oh, cocktails. It always helps too.
or wine and cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you all so much. Please, everyone, no matter when you watch later on, or if you pass this link on to your friends, please tune in for upcoming various YouTube and Facebook videos, as well as find our Vimeo on Demand work on our website. And we look forward to seeing everyone again. And have a wonderful weekend. It's almost weekend. I know it's a short week, but I'm ready for the weekend. Yeah. You know, we had Monday off. Well, I'd be okay with having Friday off too. Sorry, it's just the way I am. And anyway, love to you all. And thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to take the audience out with this short video. And if you all want to stay on, we'll chat after this rolls out. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.